So we outside. She got her leg like up on the tree. Not all the way up, but like kind of prompt. And I'm talking about we outside. We doing it outside. And me, oh, it sound like I do opera. When if it's good, I'm yeah. If it's good, I'm definitely on that. Oh, yeah, I'm having my moment. So we was outside going crazy. So she was like, I want you to be mine. And I was like, I'm not really looking for no girlfriend right now. And she was just like really got upset about that I wasn't looking for no girlfriend. And so she was like, oh, so we could do this. Girl, we did this outside. No, you older than me. We did this outside. You had like we did it at a 5-star hotel. Like, what you mean? No, I'll smash you. That's that. And that ain't no potential girlfriend I want on my hip or on my arm. Yeah, how y'all first met? Yeah, I smashed her outside. Yeah. No, it's none of that. So she gets upset. Boom, that was that scenario. Time progressed, right? I was coming from high school and I was walking and I had saw Nikki. Now, Nikki is Beth's sister. Now, mind you, Nikki is only like a year or almost 2 years. Almost, it's like a year and a half older than me. Beth is older than me. Okay, so I was just like, man, so Nikki started developing. I was like, dang, I ain't never looked at her like that. But she was staring at me and she had these jeans on and she was putting on lip gloss. So I was looking at her like, but me and her always had beef because Beth would put her in it and she always stuck up for her sister. And me and her had word to word. So I crossed the street. So she like, don't walk on the same side I'm walking on. I'm like, what? She like, walk over there. I say, well, why don't you walk over there since you make the rules and I stay on this side, my house on this side. She say, and my house on this side too. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just walk over there. So I went across the street. She like, you better. So I'm like, you know what? So I walk back. She like, you better. I walk back. I walk back across the street. Boom. So I goes to my crib or whatever. Boom. My mom's in the back. Caleb want to go and get on his scooter, right? The scooter that you just do the kicking. And so my mama like, take your brother out. I'm like, why Marky can't do it? She say, because you're the fun brother and he want to hang with you. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so what do you want to do? She like, he want to do his scooter. I'm like, okay. She like, get on your rollerblades or your bike. I'm like, I can do the bike. She like, no, just do the rollerblades. I'm like, okay, Ma, I'll do the rollerblades. I grab the rollerblades. Boom. Nikki see us going up and down. She like, ooh, I got rollerblades. I want to ride with y'all. So now she riding with me and everything. Now, Nikki, she had her body was like banging. It was banging. Her body was banging. So, and she was beautiful, but her body was like, you got like a 18-year-old body. You ain't looking 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa. So me and her, we rollerblading. We go down the hill. Caleb like, oh, I should get the bike. So we go back. Caleb goes, stop in the little breezeway area. He goes into the garage. And he goes and go grab his bike. He comes back out. Now he's riding his bike and we're rollerblading. So she like, come here, give me your hand. I'm like, no, like, because your guy might be different than mine. So she grabbed my hand. We steady going down, right? As we going down and we hitting the cut, we let hands go, but we bump into Cynthia coming across the street. So she like, hey, Nikki. Nikki like, hey, Cynthia. I'm looking like, oh my God, I know. So I'm like, hey, Caleb. So he looked, I'm like, stop at the house. So we stop in front of the house. So I look at Nikki, I'm like, is she gonna tell Beth that we was together? She like, what we doing? We neighbors. We only just enjoying the day. It's nothing gonna happen. So Beth comes out on the porch and she looks at us. She say, Nikki, get in the house. So Nikki say, why? She say, because Mama said get in the house. She say, for what? It's not even nighttime. She say, so, but get in the house. So she said, ooh. I'm like, bye. She like, bye. And she walks away. So Kayla like, you like her, don't it? I'm like, no. I'm like, come on. So boom, we keeps going. We gets in the house. Now days have passed. So I'm coming from school this particular time. I runs into Nikki again. So she like, if you walk on the same side with me, you gotta hold my hand. I'm like, you bossy. I'm like, give me your hand then. So she give me her hand. So I'm like, all right, now let go my hand. So she let go my hand. She like, no, we gotta hold hands. I'm like, I'm not finna hold hands. So her friend came behind. I was like, Nikki, what's going on? So when I turned, I'm like, yo. So she saw me. She like, Rody Dody. Now she stayed a block over. So she give me a hug. So Nikki didn't like that. Nikki got upset. And I used to kick it with her. So boom, I goes across the street. Now, a couple of houses down, there was this girl named Gabby. And then across the street from me was a girl named Ashley. Now, they liked me. So, everybody on the block was kind of like, it's either Mark or me. But majority, it was always me the girls was picking. Like, oh, I like you. I like you. Always. No matter what. No matter how the way the cookie crumble, I was the pick. All right? And Mark used to hate it, but it was like, I don't know why. Maybe because I look more like mom. You feel me? Like, maybe because I'm 50-50. You feel me? It could be because I'm 50-50. So, boom. I goes over there. I see Gabby. I goes over there. I get to talking to Gabby. Nikki sees me. Nikki walks off. She goes to her crib. So, I'm steady talking to Gabby. I'm like, hey. She's like, yeah, I've been studying that. She's an all-A student. But Nikki an all-A student, too. Very high in her class as well. So I'm talking to Gabby. So Gabby like, what you doing later? I'm like, nothing. She like, oh, you probably could come to my party. I'm like, oh, you got a party? She like, yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. And she like, we having it today though. I'm like, oh, she like, cause I'm going out of town tomorrow. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, maybe so. She like, yeah, just come. She like, you're more than welcome. I'm like, I remember that. So boom, I get in the crib. My mama comes to the door, to my room door. I'm on the phone. Come in. Thinking it's Mark or Caleb. It's my mom. She say, Nikki outside. I don't know what she want. Why is the next door neighbors looking for you? I'm like, I don't know. She like, who you on the phone with? I'm like, my friend. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna call you back. Like, I'm gonna call you back. Like, you're nosy, mom. Like, mom, when you knocked on the door, I knew to hang up. Like, you're nosy. So boom, I gets out. I goes downstairs and I look and I'm like, what's going on? She like, can we walk up the block? I'm like, I shut the door. I'm like, yeah. So boom, we start walking up the block. She like, I like you. I'm like, no, you don't. She like, yes, I do. I'm like, all the boys that be liking you when you go to the park and stuff, and especially when you go swimming. She like, but I like you. I always liked you. I always had a crush on you. I'm like, anybody else know this? She like, no. I'm like, she like, we can keep it a secret. I'm like, I don't know. She like, whatever. And so she pushed me. Right? She was a little aggressive. She walks off. So I didn't care. Right? I didn't care. I played it cool. So boom, I go in the house. My mama like, everything okay? I'm like, yeah, mom, everything okay. She like, don't get back on the phone. She like, pick up a book you need to study. So I'm like, oh. So boom, I start studying. Now, days have progressed, right? So I was on punishment. For doing something in school that I shouldn't have no business doing. My mama had went with my dad. They went to go pick up some stuff for the house. So I was in the living room and I had the window up. And I was sitting on the couch. So I had seen Nikki. Her friends, they was out there doing jump rope. And so I heard Nikki say, I'm finna go to the candy store. Yeah, I want some. So the window was up. So I said, hey, I want some Bubba Balloos. But that's not the real name of the candy. They like these blue things. When you bite it, it's like gush in your mouth. But that's not the real name. She said, that's not the name. I'm like, can you bring me some? She went to the candy store. She came back. She brought me some. Now, she told me, can you come to my house? Look, when she came and brought it, she came to the window. She like, you should come to my house later tonight. I'm like, for what? She like, I got something to show you. I'm like, all right. So, boom. The night had came. My mom was in the jacuzzi. I said, Mom, I'm finna take out the trash. She said, okay. I threw the trash away. And this is how I knew her side when when we came outside our side door, our back door, whatever, it showed Nikki room. So if her light was on, we knew she was in there. So I threw a rock, she slashed the window open. I'm like, open the door. Cause I didn't want her like Daddy Richard, none of her family members to see me. So boom. She lets me in. I go straight to her room. So she like, look. So she's showing me this cool little hamster she got. I'm like, oh, I want one. She like, you can have mine. I'm like, no, I'm going to ask my mama to buy me one. So she like, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm like, what? She like, come on, I'm going to tell you this story. So she cut the light off and shut the door. Now, she ain't had no lock on her door. She pulled the cover over our heads. She cut the flashlight on. And when I tell you, when she cut it on, she started doing this story about a girl that liked the boy. But then she started like dry humping on me. But I was like, no. I'm like, who here? I'm like, yo, auntie up here. She like, yeah, everybody home. I'm like, it was because it was late at night. It was like 9 or 10. And so Beth knocks on the door. And she's like, Dickie. And she opened the door. So when I pulled the cover, Beth see me. She say, now I'm in the bed. No shoes on, nothing. Fetal, look, Chinese position like this. Me and her, cover over our head, light on. When we move the cover, Beth coming in and she say, what you doing here?